Welcome back to Escape from Poor, where we are documenting our thoughts, perspectives, and lessons on the way to escaping from poor. And if you're trying to escape from poor, or you know anybody who is trying to escape from poor, be sure to share the channel with them, and let's continue to grow this community. A poor man's poison. On the way to escaping from poor, we need to be aware of the things that are stopping us, the things that are holding us back, the things that are poisoning us. Right off the bat, something a lot of us don't think about is our imagination. Our imagination, our inability to be able to see things in our head using our imagination for the first time. Let's say that you've only ever made money from a job, a 9-to-5, a job, trading your time for money, time directly for money. When you're going on a job hunt, you can see yourself having a certain job because you've done it before. But if you've never made a certain amount of money a month, or you just started your business, or you've had your business for a little bit and it's not revenuing what you want, sometimes it's hard to see that thing, to see the end result that you want. So things that I'm working on and I'm trying right now myself are just really focusing on making my day be what it would be with that outcome, because it is a little bit difficult to imagine it. And when I think to all the things that I've manifested and been able to manifest, I saw it in my head first. Whether I've seen it in real life yet or not, I always saw it in my head first. So we have to be able to use our imagination. We have to be able to see the outcome, or see the things that we need to be doing every day in order to get the outcome. One of the corniest lines ever, but really lately it's been top of mind, it's really been ringing in my head, is if the mind can see, conceive, and believe it, the mind can achieve it. I'm sure you've heard something to that effect. The point there is that all comes from imagination. We don't see with our eyes. I know in the physical world, we believe that we see with our eyes, and to some degree, obviously we do, but really we see with our mind. That's why if we close our mind, we can see things. Being able to see what your day should look like to get you the end result that's going to result in escaping from poor, or being able to actually see the end result, see it in your head, imagine it so you can conceive it, so you can do what it takes to actually be able to achieve it. A lot of times this is very difficult. It's very difficult to do if you've never seen it before. I think that's a big thing that really is a part of a poor man's poison. The inability to use our imagination, the inability to see the end result, or see what we should be doing every day to get the end result. If we want to escape from poor, we have to be able to do that, because every other thing, whether that's something negative in our life, we can see the negativity, like we can see it in our head. So we have to be able to see the positive outcome, or the positive daily task that we're doing every day, in order to give ourselves the best chance of actually being able to do it. One of the greatest pros about us as humans is our ability to adapt to situations. We do it so wonderfully, we do it so beautifully. That's why we continue to grow as a species as well, because we just continue to adapt to situations, which can have so many pros to it. But one of the biggest cons that I believe that it has is you will adapt and get comfortable to a shitty situation. You will adapt and get comfortable to a situation that you don't want, because as humans, we are great at adapting, and that goes in both ways. As we are leveling up and as we are escaping from poor, we're going to hit monthly new revenue. So once we start hitting 15K a month, 20K a month, then that's going to be our new norm. We're going to be able to more easily imagine that, and we are also going to then become accustomed and comfortable with that number. But when you're only making a few $1,000s a month and you have normal expenses, you adapt to that a lot of times. We adapt to the situation that we're in. And if the situation that we're in is not what we want, we have to do our best to constantly not get comfortable there. And that's going to be a work in progress, because the longer you stay in that situation, the more comfortable you're going to become, and the more you're just going to adapt to, again, the shitty situation. But that's not what we want. We are not trying to get comfortable with poor. We do not want to be comfortable with poor. We need to be pissed off with the fact that we're poor, so we can escape from it. So we can at least do the things every day that are going to allow us to actually escape from it. Otherwise, we're just going to sit comfortable in a situation we don't actually want, because as humans, we adapt so well, but we do not want to adapt and get comfortable to situations we don't want. So we need to continue to use our imagination to imagine and believe and conceive the situation that we actually want, or the things we should be doing every day to get that outcome. We have to be more focused on that. We cannot, and I repeat, cannot get comfortable in a situation we do not want. That is going to be mental suicide. One of the most no-brainer poor man's poison is absolutely 100% without a doubt alcohol. Alcohol itself is poison. It is. We're poisoning our body to intoxicate it to feel good, XYZ. The biggest problem I have with alcohol, and really any intoxicant, I guess for the most part, is that once we drink alcohol or smoke weed or take whatever, we forget the actual situation that we're in, the shitty situation we're in, because we're just intoxicated. Alcohol making your situation seem like it's not as bad as it is a terrible combination with being comfortable and adapting to a situation we don't want, plus not being able to use our imagination to get out of the situation that we are in. Oh, alcohol. We have to be very careful with this substance. The main reason alcohol is terrible and is absolutely a poor man's poison, outside of the fact that you're going to waste time, outside of the fact that you might wake up with a hangover, so it's going to make your day harder, outside of all of that, it makes us forget how shitty of a situation we're actually in, so we get more comfortable in it. When we're already getting comfortable because of our ability to adapt as humans, we have to be very careful. Can you imagine all of those working together, not being able to use our imagination, getting comfortable and adapting to a situation, drinking alcohol, making us forget our situation? This is a recipe for disaster. And that's why it's a poor man's poison. Another thing, and honestly, one of the things that bother me the most, porn stealing our ambition and distracting us. The tricky thing with porn is no matter what, all humans on the earth, our main reason for being born, take away everything modern, take away it all, is to procreate, to keep the species alive. And that's kind of the part, obviously, that porn is attacking. So it's stealing your ambition and stealing your time from you. The whole idea in Think and Grow Rich that states if we can transmutate our sex energy from something physical and turn it into something creative, it's still one of the biggest concepts ever, but it just lets you know how powerful that emotion is. And if we're wasting our time and giving that energy to pixels, then we just have to question if that's what we want to do. And if it's what you want to do it. The fifth thing that I have really been thinking about in terms of a poor man's poison is dysfunction and not being intentional with our time. We waste so much time because we're taught we have so much time. So we waste a lot of it. Not being intentional with our time is up there. All of these work together in tandem. Not being intentional with our time, drinking alcohol, making you forget how bad your situation is, getting comfortable in our situation, lounging when maybe we should be working still, not being intentional with our time. We have to be very careful and very intentional if we're going to escape from poor. We don't have as much time to waste as we may think we do. We do not. We're on an escape. We don't have time to waste. We should be uncomfortable. You should be uncomfortable with your situation because we have to break through these mental stuff. We have to break through the inability to see the outcome that we want, the inability to see the daily tasks that we want. And we only can do that through being intentional with our time constantly, because then we're going to look up 10, 15 years are going to pass and we're going to be like, oh, damn, just the overall overindulgence in things that don't matter. The overall overindulgence in things that hold us back is absolutely a poor man's poison. And if we are going to escape from poor the way I know we all want to, we're going to have to not drink the poor man's poison. Escaping from poor, it's not an option. It's happening.